Here we are, back in the charts, and of course, ChainLink versus Bitcoin. So thank you very much for joining me as well. Again, just want to send out a big old thanks to all the subscribers. We've made it over 200 now. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I just can't get over that. Can't get over that. I'm just so amazed. So anyway, thanks to everybody who's liked and subscribed so far. That's just fantastic. All right. So what are we looking at here? Well, this is of course the Bitcoin chart. And what did we say the day before yesterday when we last published our video about it? Is that we could see this come on down and try and sit in a higher low. And then what our targets were we making for that? Well, anywhere in around this area here where you would be having quite a you can see quite clearly just with your own human pattern recognition skills that the next sort of let's call it Keynesian contraction phase would come down to around about this 47,000 area. Could that operate in terms of support and whatnot? Well, you also have the 21 EMA here, this yellow line here, which is in that 45,000, 46,000 area. I'm talking Satoshi's level here. If I'm actually wrong about this, then I'd appreciate if somebody told me in the charts. What if I actually hit the plus button? Does that might make it way better for you? This is really ugly. This makes it like I feel like I'm really claustrophobic here, but let me know if you prefer this sort of layout, because if you're watching on a mobile or something, maybe that makes it easier to see the prices over on the right. So let me know. Can I do this video like this? Let's try it. Let's try it for now. Maybe I've gone one too far. Is that like a good enough compromise? Is that good? Let me know in the video. Let me know in the comments if you don't mind. What you think. So anyway, what we're looking at right now, we've got this sort of doji candle on the go at the minute with the Bitcoin prices. As we can see with the Bitcoin prices themselves, we've had a bit of the old volatility over the weekend. It's kind of been a little bit expected. We're kind of going back down to retest the 200 simple here over the weekend on the spot prices as we sit here in stasis, waiting for the weekday to begin again this evening, tonight really, on the CME charts, because they'll open back up again, I think, at whatever it is, 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So GMT or Universal Time. So this is the area. Currently, as it stands, it looks like we'll have a little gap to the upside, give us a little bit of upward price pressure. So there's that to be bearing in mind. So could we see further downward action here and potentially look towards maybe the previous lows area here in terms of setting in a low in the meantime? But at 45,000, we could be looking towards that. But then again, this market really performs well in the long term against Bitcoin, and you can see it's just week on week. Well, there's periods where it goes down, of course, but it's just we've had such good weeks recently. And if you look at the crazy wick action that you've had here on the weekly chart, you've had 50%, more, 57% price gains in terms of the down and upward side wicks. So there's plenty of volatility in the market here versus Bitcoin, if that's what you're looking for. But really, what it boils down to for me kind of is the dollar price. So let's go back over to that now, and you can see here, obviously, on the Coinbase 1 week dollar chart that I've got a bunch of Fibonacci retracements in here, and it makes life a little bit easier because it defines clearly what we're looking at so far. So as you can see quite clearly on this weekly chart, that we've got the wick coming right up to the top here, where we've drawn in a Fibonacci retracement, and the prices are currently operating above the 236 on this particular Fibonacci retracement, which is this one here on the right here, and it starts down here at the bottom at the wicks, and it goes up to the very top of this wick here, and that's the recent this swing low to the swing high. So that's how that works. And is this valid? Well, no, it's not valid, because currently the prices are above this 236. So we go down a time frame to the 24 hours. You can see how this is fitting in currently, and we've come up to the very top there, come down, and now we're being supported, you could say, by the 21 EMA, which is this yellow line here on the daily time frame, and the 236 Fibonacci retracement. Now, when I say that, what I mean is that until such times as it moves below the 236, then we're not having a correction in the market. We're maybe move down about 20%. Take out the ruler and give us a sort of a measurement of sorts and say, oh, we're about 15%. You want to see the prices move down 20% or so. So we'd be looking past that 236 Fibonacci retracement in order to get to have what the technical definition or whatever of a retracement there. Have you noticed actually, as I'm doing this measurement thing, that TradingView now is made it so that when you click here, it actually remains selected. In previous videos, every time I've done that, it gets deselected and goes back to the crosshair. So TradingView often changes the way that it works. It's kind of curious. It's not like you get a little email update or anything saying, this is the new change. In fact, actually, Maybe you do, but who checks their emails anyway? No one. So, so that's what we're looking at really. Are we going to be able to sustain the prices above $4.17 here? So, we're not going to take it down to the exact penny price, but that's what we're looking to see. If we can do that and around that area, then this remains invalid and targets towards the upside remain in place. In which case, you could see that we've had this high here, a higher low, a higher high, and anywhere down as far as here, and actually even truthfully, when I say here, I mean $3.80, but even anywhere far down as sort of $3.60 or so would be another higher low coming in on this time frame, the daily time frame, and we could continue to look to upper targets. And of course, my upper target really first off, next one after all of this, obviously my first profit taking target is that $5 level. I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice, but that's what I'm looking at. Then after that, I'm looking at $5.50. Let's take a jump over here to the Binance charts. Now, the biggest difference between the Binance and Coinbase, sorry, this is Coinbase again here, is that you've got a high wick here on the Coinbase chart where people actually were buying and selling, although not an awful lot of them, but it did happen up here at $5. And over here on Binance, you can see that it was only, well, $4.50 or something like that, where we had that big blow off top wick, which means that we've been setting in already all-time highs over here on the Binance chart. And we also have a slightly different setup here in that the Fibonacci retracement that we've got drawn in was drawn body to body, just in terms, and as you know, over here this is drawn wick to wick, so we have body to body here, and just kind of just doing it slightly differently, just to have the the slight contrast, and we can look across the sort of different levels. So in terms of the other one, in terms of this here, how we're sort of being in and around this area of these magnolia lines being supported by that and the 21 EMA. If we go back over to Binance, you can see the 21 EMA up here operating similarly, but because it's a body-to-body Fibonacci, this 236 is coming in here at $4 really, and $4 obviously makes sense as well, and sort of emotionally, if the prices broke down below $4, then you could quite easily anticipate the prices coming down to say $3.60 and setting in that higher low in around there. And I say higher low because it'd be higher than this low over here. And you might be screaming at me, Rocky, there's a low over here, and I would agree with you to an extent, except the thing is, this is all part of this upward movement, and that you can sort of, you begin splitting hairs when you say that this is the low and this is low, and you get sort of too much there's too much confusion there. So you can just really sort of focus on this as being your higher low. Anyway, I think that really kind of sums up what we're looking at for today. Now, if I wasn't particularly clear, what I'm saying is that we need the prices to remain in this area here, and then we can look towards the upper targets. If that is the case, then you probably see some upward pressure as well versus the Bitcoin price. At least it'll be able to maintain itself and not drop on further down. If not, you can see the prices on the Bitcoin prices easily come down to that 46,000, 45,000 Satoshi level, and actually even beyond. And there's three real sort of easy to draw in targets that you've got. You've got the yellow 21 EMA there at 46,000 or so. They've got this magnolia line here at 43,500 or so, and then you've got the 55 EMA and our blue horizontal support line coming in here about 39,000 or so, and that would all be in line for just continuing on the higher highs and the higher lows. And of course the dollar prices, you're looking at $4.18 on Coinbase, and then where we've got this operating at, or else you could be looking down to sort of $3.80, between $3.80 and say $3.50, anywhere in and around there in terms of setting in higher lows. And if not, then of course then on down below that, and likewise on Coinbase it's more or less the same. So thanks so much for tuning in. I changed you can see that my colors are different here. That's because, if you've not been watching all the videos today, that's because I lost them and had to re-add them back onto the charts. And you can see I've not actually used them in this video in terms of looking at divergences and stuff like that. And I think that just as a tune out, it is probably worth pointing out that you've got a high here and a high here, and you've got a high here and a high here, and across the board there's bearish divergence. Okay, so if you manage to stick it right through to the end of this video, there's bearish divergence across the board there. So I would be wary as well. I think that there's a fairly decent chance that these Fibonacci's that I've drawn in here will actually be used, and that those lower downward price targets will be met. And that's why I've been talking about the downside price targets almost exclusively in this video. But of course, just one last reiteration of this: $4.98 would be my first profit taking target. $5.50 would be the very greedy profit taking target in the interim, sort of near short term future. Thanks so much. Not financial advisor, not financial advice. Make a few videos a day, so tune into the channel for them. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you've just made it through to the end of this video for the very first time, then well done. You are a hero, a special type of hero, and you are a bona fide rocket competition, charting with precision, and you lack that indecision. See you next time.